Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. So, good morning everyone, and we were hoping that this crisis will end and we can start having our regular programs. So, we thought in the between we would discuss some other topic which is common to all, because I run classes in three or four places. In some places, we are in the first chapter as we are here, and then in another class, we are at the beginning of the second chapter, and in another class, we are somewhere in between the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and then in another class, which we are doing on Saturdays, we are at the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So it made sense to bring everyone together during this COVID time through the internet medium and discuss some common topics. So we were discussing Krishna Katha, and we were able to, by the grace of Krishna, finish about 24 chapters of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is discussions on the pastimes of the Lord. So it's a very long canto, the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's got a total of 90 chapters discussing Krishna's pastimes in Mathura, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, and then Krishna's pastimes in Dwaraka, totaling to 90 chapters. Especially the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan have special significance because the childhood pastimes were done there, and the childhood pastimes of Krishna are considered to be very attractive. And even a person who is not interested in spiritual life, when he hears Krishna's pastimes as a child, would be certain to get attracted to Krishna consciousness. So that was the reason why we started doing Krishna Katha from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And but then we found that the lockdown and the social distancing is going to continue for some more time. So we decided from this week that we'll start our regular classes and maybe do Krishna Katha once a week. I was seeing that for the Krishna Katha sessions, not many from this group were participating. So we will try and do it once a week, maybe on a Friday morning between 10 and 11, which we will announce soon. And I request everyone to try and attend that program also. Because during this time when not much of activity is taking place, material activity is taking place, it is the time to kind of reflect and focus more on our spiritual life. Devotees of the Lord are very fortunate uh, during this time when everything is closed down. We actually have a situation of extended extra activity. There are so many lectures that are going on online that it becomes a problem of choice which one to attend and which one not to. So that has been the new challenge presented by COVID. So therefore, devotees are all the time engaged in Shravanam and Kirtanam, which is hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord. So we really have to choose which one to attend and which one to miss, because as devotees we have our personal sadhana as well. The personal sadhana includes our regular chanting of rounds of the Maha Mantra. So, as initiated devotees, we are supposed to chant 16 rounds of the Mahamantra every day. That takes away about 2 hours of our time, and then the morning arti, the evening arti, that keeps us occupied for at least about an hour or so. Service to the deities at home. Besides that, we have our regular reading to do. So, and then there is so much of opportunity of hearing. So here, if we may call it at Barsha Nadesh, since we are at Barsha, so we are also going to have regular study programs arranged. So the study programs would mean methodical study of Bhagavad Gita, a methodical study of Srimad Bhagavatam by the second generation disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who would do this methodical study, and at least once a month we will also have some senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, some sannyasis, come and talk to us. So that way, besides our study, what we are doing, we will also have these sessions arranged once a week. So I guess all of us should get into the habit of participating twice a week instead of one. So that is the extra sacrifice that we should give for Krishna as a resolve during this COVID period. Yeah. So the corona, which is a virus, which is now causing so much of fear, corona is also a part of the sun. So that means we should try and bring the sunshine of knowledge into our hearts, and that will be the permanent solution for all the problems that we have been facing. Since we are meeting after some time, we will try to have a quick recap of what we have discussed till now. We started in the first session by discussing how knowledge is the most powerful force of transformation. This is the fundamental thing that we discussed, that knowledge helps us to transform. So, that in one sense is also giving us an idea that that should be the purpose of gaining knowledge, is that we have to transform ourselves. So many times when we accumulate knowledge, it is with a mentality of consumer mentality and academic mentality. So we just have an academic interest as to what the Bhagavad Gita says, so we consume that knowledge for the purpose of philosophical speculation. So that is not the purpose with which we should learn Bhagavad Gita, even though that could still be useful. Whichever way, if you hear the Bhagavad Gita, it is of benefit to all of us. But the whole idea of gaining the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is that we should come to a situation where the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita should become a powerful force for transformation. So we also discussed um, the faculty of knowledge distinguished with the other four activities which are common to human beings and other forms of life, which is ahara, nidra, paya, and maitunamcha. So the four activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is common to human beings and animals. So what differentiates us is the faculty of uh, knowledge which is specific to human beings among the 8,400,000 species of life which exists in the material universe. So then the important question came as to then what should be the source of information. So it is properly understood that knowledge comes from a guru. But what to do in the absence of a guru? First thing is we discuss the challenge of getting an appropriate guru who will be trustworthy and who will not change the subject matter of the Shastras and present it to us as it is. So, which is that is why Srila Prabhupada named the translation of his Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, therefore, not all are fortunate to get a spiritual master. So, therefore, what do we do then? For the source of the knowledge. The original source of knowledge is the Bhagavad Gita, so which is coming from Achyuta or Sri Krishna. Achyuta means the infallible one. So, knowledge coming from the supreme source can be relied upon. So, we also discussed how the Vedas are like the summary of all the four Vedas, or rather, Bhagavad Gita is a summary of all the Vedas, the Vedangas, the 18 Puranas, the Upavedas, and also the two Itihasas. You can say that the Bhagavad Gita is an ocean of knowledge given in one scripture through the Bhagavad Gita, which is also the song of God. So, Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all the Vedas. Then we also discuss one important sloka, which is Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dokta Gopalanandana Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta Duktam Gita Amrito Mahat. So, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo. So, all the Upanishads are considered, of all the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Gita Upanishad is considered as the cow, and Dokta Gopalanandana and Sri Krishna is the cow, the milkman milking the nectar of all the Upanishads, and Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta. So, Partha is the calf, and all of us should also um, become followers of the Bhagavad Gita or followers of Partha, who is the supreme calf, who is drinking and feasting on the ambrosia of all the Upanishads presented in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's also we also quoted one important sloka which is quoted by Shankaracharya, which says Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantraha Tasya Namani Yani Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So there is only one Shastra that is required for spiritual perfection, Ekam Shastram, and that is Devaki Putra Gitam. It is the Gita or the words of Devaki Putra Sri Krishna. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Eko Devo, there is only one God. Devaki Putra Eva. This is Shankaracharya's words in Gita Mahatmya. Eko Mantraha, there is only one mantra which has the essence of all the mantras that we have ever heard, and that is Tasya Namani Yani, the mantra of your holy names. And there is only one worthwhile activity, Karmapi Ekam, Tasya Devasya Seva. So there is only one activity which is worthy, and that is activities in the service of yours, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So That is tasya devasya seva, karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva, is what we are able to engage ourselves in with more intensity during this crisis period of corona. So this is what we discussed in the first class, and then we discussed how there are 43 slokas in the Bhagavad Gita first chapter, and the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first 11 verses, are more verses related to the preparation of the war. And then the next 9 verses until sloka number 20 gives the signs of the Pandavas' victory. And then the sloka number 21 until 27 discusses how Krishna is a Bhaktavatsala. Bhaktavatsala means the person who will do anything for his bhaktas or his devotees. I think we had come this far, and now slowly Krishna will start revealing the reasons, or rather, Arjuna will start revealing. Krishna never talks in the chapter 1. The reasons why he does not want to fight this battle at all. So he developed cold feet to fight the battle, and he expresses to Krishna that he is not wanting to fight this ghastly battle. So in the preparations of the war, we saw the expert diplomacy of Duryodhana on how he doesn't want to fight this, rather Duryodhana, how expertly he arranges the army and how expertly he talks with his side of the army and on motivating them to fight this battle which is going to happen at Kurukshetra. But the very first verse itself spells doom for the Kauravas and victory for the Pandavas are seen. How is that? The war takes place in the Kurukshetra, which is also called as the Dharmakshetra. So the first verse itself talks about Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage called Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So we saw how Kurukshetra is also Dharmakshetra, or the place of religiosity and the place of piety. So this is what we saw, and we also saw how Kurukshetra is such a significant place where it's a place where the 8 virtues are there. What are those 8 virtues? The 8 virtues are Satya is the first virtue which is present naturally in Kurukshetra because of the blessing on King Kuru by Indra and then later by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as well. So it is a place of Satya, which is truth. It is the place of Dhana, which is charity, which is the place of Yajna, which means sacrifice, the place of Shama, which is forgiveness. It's a place of Daya, which is kindness, and then a place of austerity, which is Tapasya. So it's a place of purity, which is Shuddha, and it's also a place of celibacy, which is Brahmacharya. So this is a place where Satya, Dhana, Yajna, Shama, Dhaya, Tapasya, Shuddha, and Brahmacharya all was present And therefore, since it's such an auspicious place, naturally the advantage of the auspiciousness will actually go to um, the pious people. And who is the pious person? The pious people are naturally the Pandavas. So we saw towards the end of this section on sloka number 11, we saw how Duryodhana was such an expert, a material expert who arranges the army so well and who also motivates his army so well. Whatever fears he has, he hides it and makes sure that his warriors do not carry the same fears and the negativity that he carries, so that they stay extremely motivated to fight the battle. So, from the material strength perspective, his army was also much bigger than the army of the Pandavas. So, that was giving him a lot of confidence. But what he actually missed out in the whole process of his calculation, which is a typical mistake of the materialists as well, he left out the presence of Krishna from the calculation. So we also make so many plans of our travel for the next 1 year. We also make plans for our businesses, our careers, and all these things. But finally, there is something which is called as a Adi Devik blow that comes. That is a blow from the Devatas, which is what has led to this COVID. And there is a mass fear that is there, and all our plans have now got to be put on standstill. So, gross materialists miss out this important calculation or consideration while planning anything. So, anything that we plan, we must understand that it is all these plans are subject to the approval and mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is, as a typical materialist, um, Duryodhana missed out on this important aspect that Krishna is present in the other side of the battle. Then the next section of arrangement of the army and the diplomacy displayed and the expertise displayed by Duryodhana, we saw the different signs of victory for the Pandavas from sloka number 12 until sloka number 20. So we saw how the Krishna's personal presence, which was left out of the equation by Duryodhana, is the most important auspicious nature which is going to be for the benefit of the Pandavas. And then the goddess of fortune is also naturally present with in Pandava's side. Here, fortune doesn't mean just material wealth, it also means spiritual wealth, it means happiness, bliss, everything is on the side of the Pandavas. Because wherever the Lord is there, the goddess of fortune is automatically present. So then we discussed already another point which was so important, that the war was being held in Kurukshetra, which is also Dharma Kshetra, or a land of piety, blessed by Indra and blessed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the fourth sign of victory, we saw Hanuman on Arjuna's flag was there, which means the personal presence of Hanuman, who led Lord Ramchandra to victory, was also present in the Kurukshetra battle. Then the conch shells which were blown, the conch shell itself is a symbol of Vishnu. So, and we saw how, besides the conch shell being a symbol of Vishnu, which was reason number 5, the sixth reason is that the blowing of the conch shells of the Pandavas' army were transcendental when compared to the blowing of conch shells, um, um, which the Kauravas did, were not transcendental. And then the seventh indication was Bhima's conch shell was more to pacify Duryodhana. So then we also learned the eighth symptom why the war is going to be won by the Pandavas was that the Agni Deva had given the chariot to Arjuna, and the chariot of Arjuna, given by Agni Deva, was capable of conquering all the directions. So then, like we said, the primary and the greatest reason is Lord Krishna has Rishikesha, who controls. The word Rishikesha means the controller or the master of the senses. So Rishikesha controls the senses of the devotee and brings them to the right path. So total of 9 reasons are given, and then Lord Krishna here is expressed as Rishikesha, personal presence as Rishikesha, of controlling the devotee's senses and bringing him to the right path. So, right path how? Because Arjuna, in the presence of Krishna with his instructions, will never be overwhelmed by anxiety or any kind of confusion, and he will never lose control over his senses. So this was discussed until sloka number 20, and then the third section we moved on, where we explained how Krishna takes on the role of a Bhaktavatsala. So we'll just read sloka number 21 and 22. Arjuna Vacha Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratham Stapaya Me Achyuta Yavat Etan Niriksheham Yodhu Kaman Avastithan Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam Asmin Rana Samudhyame. So Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. So, this is actually, we can say, Krishna's first appearance in the Bhagavad Gita. He is driving the chariot and accepting orders from Arjuna. So, the Supreme Controller takes orders from his devotee as a very menial servant. The quality of Bhakta Vatsala is thus very, very endearing. So, everyone was ready to fight. Everybody was talking strategies. So at that time, Krishna is instructed by Arjuna to take him to the center of the battlefield so that he can have a clear vision of everyone who is present in the battlefield. So the reference in this verse has been made um, to Krishna as Achyuta. Achyuta actually means infallible. So, infallible means he can never make mistakes. And the other meaning of Achyuta is he never lets down his devotees. So, that means it's a foregone conclusion that Krishna is going to take the Pandavas to victory. So now, moving on, so this is a very endearing section from 21 until 26 because Krishna is accepting the role of um, charioteer for Arjuna. It's important to know how, if anybody has to be termed as God, God must have six qualities. What are the six qualities of the Lord? It's explained by Parashar Muni, who is the father of Vyasadeva, and therefore he explains the Lord to have six important qualities, six primary qualities, if one has to be described as God. So the qualities are Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Yashasa Viryasya, um, um, uh, Yashasa Viryasya, I'm missing out one, Jnana Vairagya Yosh Chaiva Sannam Bhaga Itim Gana. Who is present here? Yeah, Lavina Induja, which is the one which I'm missing out? Can you please remind me? Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Yashasa Viryasya Shriya. I missed out on Shriya. I got it. So, what are the six qualities? Aishwarya, which means all opulence. I got it.
Okay. Okay.
So there is a first quality, Aishwarya, which means that Lord is a person who is the holder of all opulences. And then Yashasa, which means that the Lord is a person who is all famous. Viryasya, which means the Lord is all strength. And Shriya means Shreya means all beauty. And then Jnana and Vairagya Yoschaya Sannam Bhaga Itim Gana. So Lord is defined by Parashar Muni as a person who has all opulences in full, Aishwaryasya Samagrasya. He also has all fame, all strength, and then he has all beauty, and besides that, he has all knowledge and renunciation, vairagya or renunciation. Now, all these qualities are no doubt super phenomenal qualities that the Lord possesses. In spite of that, why do we say that the Lord's quality of vairagya or renunciation is very endearing and very special? Just imagine that we have a little of all these qualities. We have a little bit of opulence in a very minute quantity. We also have within our space of contacts, relatives, etc., we have some fame for what we have done also. We also possess some strength, physical and mental strength. We also may have some beauty blessed by the Lord, or and we also certainly have some knowledge. But with this minute quantity of opulence, fame, strength, beauty, and knowledge, we are, it's very difficult for us to get this quality of renunciation. Now Krishna was able to renounce all his beauty, all his knowledge, all his strength that he has, all the fame that he possesses, and all the opulences that he possesses. Yet he was able to have this quality of vairagya or renunciation. So that's why that's a very, very endearing quality of the Lord, or we can say it is the sweetest quality of the Lord, where the Lord could do anything for the interest of his devotees. Yeah. So this is the section which discusses Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala. So then, sloka number 27 onwards, It's all about Arjuna trying to put a base and express to Krishna all the difficulties that he foresees in future, and due to these difficulties and challenges, he doesn't want to fight the battle. So there are four reasons given in this chapter. It is followed by the beginning of the second chapter, which gives one more reason. And then Krishna, after understanding the problems of Arjuna, starts giving his reply. So, sloka number 27, we'll read out and the translation, and wherever necessary, we will speak a little bit on this verse. So, we have about 20 minutes, and we'll try to complete from sloka number 27 until sloka number 30. So the 27th verse is Tan Samikshya Sakaunteya Sarvan Bandhun Avastithan Kripaya Paraya Vishto Vishidhan Idam Abravit. Translation: When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So he was all determined to fight the battle based on being on the side of Dharma. But look at what has happened to Arjuna, the effect of visual perception, because now he's asked Krishna to pull the chariot to the middle of the battlefield, and Krishna purposely takes him and places the chariot in the place where he could see and have direct vision of Bhishma and all his other gurus as well. So he was able to have clear vision, and because of the effect of the visual perception, there is a difficulty in the use of intelligence to process what you see. So it is inspiring an incorrect understanding, and a lot of emotions are coming up within the minds of Arjuna. So these kind of material emotions are distorting the spiritual conviction. So Arjuna is now face to face with Bhishma and Dronacharya, and he says, Sarvan Bandhun, all my relatives are there in the other side of the battlefield, and this has resulted in a reverential, affectionate feeling, which is inspiring a feeling of compassion in Arjuna. Okay, so we move on. So essentially, 28 to 30 is considered as the verses which are uh, giving us the first reason given by Arjuna to not fight the battle. So this verse number 28 is Arjuna Vacha Drishtve Mam Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsum Samupastitam Sidhanti Mama Gatrani Mukam Cha Parisusyati. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So, these are some experiences we have when we are going through an emotional um, upheaval within us. So, in the earlier sloka, Arjuna had a very clear perspective of that this war was between good and evil. In sloka number 23, you all can go through the meaning. So he had a clear perspective of what is good and what is evil. And he had the perspective evil has to be punished, and the Kauravas are certainly vicious, and the Pandavas are very virtuous, and Lord Krishna, the Lord of all virtues, is in their side. So there is no problem in fighting this battle. However, when there is visual perception, as we saw in the earlier verse, there was a distortion. The moment he was seeing his relatives in person, he was overwhelmed with compassion. So the this is the situation in which Arjuna is placed, and similarly, but then what is that is the negative of what happened with visual perception, but it also gives us an idea of the qualities of Arjuna vis-a-vis qualities of Duryodhana. Duryodhana never describes anywhere when he is talking to his army about his relatives and about his friends on the other side of the battlefield. He was completely conquered by the aspect of greed. So the greed, what does it do? It destroys affection. So that is the. And he never referred to the Pandavas as his bhatran or brothers. So because he was completely conquered by the aspect of greed, so therefore he just discusses the strength of his army and the purpose of the mission. So Arjuna here we see he has some nice qualities. He is overwhelmed by compassion, lamentation, and he is sad to see that the war is about to start. So there are different levels of attachment. So the first level, the lowest level of attachment is called as the adharma. Adharma is the lowest level where very high material attachment, and every action is driven only by greed. There is absolutely no care or concern for bodily relationships as manifested by Duryodhana. Like earlier, also we've seen in other scriptures where Kamsa he imprisons Ugrasena, who is his father, to just become king of Mathura. So Aurangzeb, another example from recent times, who is he imprisoned his own father Shah Jahan. So there was no um, respect for own relatives, and completely driven by greed only. So greed leads to sinful behavior. So that is the lowest level of attachment, which is adharma. And then the second level of attachment is aparadharma, which is attachment to material relations based on the sense of duty. So that is what we are all afflicted by. We are all so much attached to our relatives. We are attached to our children. We are attached to our spouses. We are attached to our homes. We are attached to our bank balance. So this is based on our material relationships. We develop attachment for everyone. So why this is a little higher than the lowest form of attachment? Because there is basic concern for the others, of course, based on material attachment. That is why it is called aparadharma. And then affection based on paradharma. Yeah, paradharma is when all our attachment is based on spiritual vision. So that is para dharma. So it rises above a very mundane bodily attachment. So it is different from a mundane material relationship they have, and this or paradharma attachment based on paradharma uh, treats everything else as subordinate to the spiritual relationship with Krishna. Um, Whenever we act in spiritual relationship with Krishna, we are automatically acting in favor of all our bodily relationships as well. So when we act in relationship to Krishna, all other relationships are automatically going to fall in place. That's the firm conviction that we must have. So Arjuna, right through the statements of the Bhagavad Gita, is going to be inspired to move from a state of aparadharma to paradharma. That is, the lowest is adharma, which is irreligion, and then we move up to material religiosity, and then we are moved to a level of doing all our activities as in relationship to Krishna or as a duty to Krishna. In one of the arguments which Krishna puts up to Arjuna to fight this battle is coming in the 8th chapter, where he says the principle of your fight is Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. So the guiding principle is think of me, Mam Anusmara, and Yudhyacha, and fight this battle. So here in sloka number 28, we discussed just now, where overwhelmed by compassion, he starts seeing how is Swajanam, or people who are born in his own family, as Swajanam, Yuyutsamam Samupastitam, right? Yeah, Yuyutsum Samupastitam. Now all his own kith and kin, who are all one family, they've grown up together, they've all now assembled with such a firm fighting spirits. And what are the indications that are being manifest of his compassion? There are three indications mentioned here, which is he is I feel the limbs of my body quivering. So the limbs of my body is quivering, and my mouth is drying up. So when we are overwhelmed by material attachment, we have experienced these things many times. The limbs are trembling, and the mouth is drying up. So it's a state of complete lamentation, and it's a bodily and emotional condition that Arjuna is going through. So, like we said, we are also able to see the qualities of Arjuna here. Um, um, and this first question of compassion is going to be handled by Krishna, which is like the basic knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, which is given from 2.11, the second chapter, 11th sloka, until the 30th sloka, actually answers this question of material compassion which Arjuna is going through. And we also see the qualities of Arjuna in these statements. He is very compassionate, he is also very soft hearted. So these are considered to be godly qualities which only devotees generally have. So these are important qualities because it gives us the qualities of the proper culture to receive spiritual knowledge. Yeah. So that is sloka number 28. We'll just cover sloka number 29 as well. Vepastuscha sharire me romaharshascha jayate ghandivam shramsate hastat tvakchaiva parityate. Okay. My whole body is trembling, hairs standing on end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. So, what's happening here is body is trembling, hair is standing on end, and the Gandiva bow is slipping out from his hand, and his skin is literally burning. So we saw two manifestation of emotions in the earlier sloka. Now this is three more in this verse of the expressions of emotion in the body. So, so there are different emotions which Arjuna is going through, and there are physical reactions to these emotions. So these are very tightly connected with each other. On the 17th day of the battle, Karna actually injured and severely, or rather defeated and severely injured Yudhishthira in the battle. And he insults Yudhishthira, saying that I don't want to even kill you, you're quite useless as a Kshatriya. So he taunted him. And the moment Arjuna heard that his brother Yudhishthira, whom he revered more than his own life, um, was injured in the battle while he was fighting with Karna, he immediately rushed, leaving the battlefield to see his elder brother Yudhishthira. When he meets Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira assumes that Arjuna must have killed Karna by now to avenge the injury that he has caused to him. But so he says, "Oh, so Karna is defeated." So Arjuna says, "No, Karna is still alive, but I just came to look up and see what's going on with you and how you are feeling." When Yudhishthira heard this, he was furious and he shouted at Arjuna and he said that better you give up your Gandiva bow, you're quite useless. How can you come back from the battlefield after knowing that Karna has attacked and injured me? So you should have first on a mission went and killed Karna before doing anything else. Now Arjuna is being asked to give up his Gandiva bow. And in that situation, what was his reaction? Arjuna had actually taken a vow that he would kill anyone who suggests that he should put down his bow, and therefore he practically was so furious with Yudhishthira that he wanted to kill his own brother Yudhishthira. So it was Krishna who actually intervened, and then, of course, stopped him from killing, of course, and then Arjuna then said to Yudhishthira, uh, he thought that okay, if killing is not an option, the best way to kill a Yudhishthira, a Kshatriya, is to insult him with words. And he said to his own brother Yudhishthira, "You say I am a cowherd. You looked on as your wife and our wife Draupadi was insulted in the assembly. You're not a man, you're not a king." So he said this out of anger to Yudhishthira, who asked him to put down his Gandiva bow. So then, of course, Yudhishthira regrets what he had told Arjuna, and Arjuna regrets what he told his elder brother Yudhishthira. He begged for forgiveness at the feet of Yudhishthira, But then why this was being related is how the Gandiva is so dear to Arjuna. So a weapon for a Kshatriya is considered as a part of the body of a Kshatriya. It practically defines a warrior. So a Kshatriya would never give up his weapon at any cost. So the best known archer now is having so much of compassion filled in his art, which was leading to an inner confusion with the attack of emotions. So the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita is to counter attack the attack of emotions. So that's how it is relevant to all of us, the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So, the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, from the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, we know that the material world is ashashvatam and dukkhalayam. It is temporary and it is a warehouse of misery, dukkhalayam. So, that is a given. So, we are going to go through various troubles in our material lives, which is also no less than the battle that Arjuna is fighting. So, therefore, how do we handle all the small battles in our day to day life and control all the emotions and see everything from a spiritual vision? That is the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, which we should all try to gain and build up our inner strength and attack the false material emotions that we go through. Then we do the last sloka for the day. Nacha saknomi avastatum brahmativa cha me manaha nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. So, in this, we can see Arjuna's frustration in his expectation. So, what is the learning that we have to get? That whenever we are engulfed by different material problems, whether in success or in failure, it's ultimately any material situation is going to lead to a frustration. Victory is certain, yet Arjuna is frustrated. So, what is the reason for that? Is basically, if you observe all the statements of Arjuna, Arjuna's primary interest is in himself, his emotions, and his welfare. As long as this is the emotion that we carry, there is always going to be frustration. So, our interest has to be on the supreme self or the Paramatma, which is the real self interest. And who is the supreme self or the Paramatma? It is Vishnu or Sri Krishna. So, Arjuna, even in this situation of being victorious, still is in a state of lamentation, fearfulness, and he loses his mental equilibrium. Yeah. So, what are the reasons for it? Like we discussed, we are misdirected. And what is the correction that Krishna is going to apply right through the Bhagavad Gita is changing the misdirected interest of our own welfare. So, in most of the cases, we are ignorant of our own real interest. Our real interest, as we will see as the Bhagavad Gita unfolds, is Vishnu's satisfaction is our real interest. Rest of the things of our satisfaction and happiness comes with our activities satisfying Vishnu or Krishna. And why does that happen that we lose vision of our self interest? It's because of our conditioned nature where we forget our real self interest. Yeah. So, this is the situation in which Arjuna is. And so, material nature is like an opportunity to enjoy based on certain condition. So that's why we are called as conditioned souls. So our opportunity to enjoy is based on certain conditions. It could be physical or it could be intellectual. Yeah. Whereas when we go beyond matter, we are able to reach a stage of unconditional love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the purpose of human life. We'll close the class today with a sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhaktir Adoksaje Ahaituki Apratiyata Ya Yatma Suprasidati. So, the conditioned nature will continue till such time we are engaged in our paro dharmo, savai pumsam paro dharmo. Pumsam is human beings, and our paro dharmo or the supreme activity is savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhaktir adok saje. So, bhakti to the supreme transcendental person, Sri Krishna, is the para dharma of a human being. And what kind of bhakti? We have to reach a stage of ahaituki aparatiyata with absolutely no um, interest in the results of our activity, ahaituki apratiyata, and unbroken service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Till such time we reach this stage, we are considered to be conditioned. And then we reach this stage of ahaituki apratiyata, then ya yatma supra sidati. Our atma is supremely satisfied. So that's the conclusion. It's a tall order to reach, and maybe it will inspire some questions. We'll have question answer if anything is there for the next 5 minutes before we close for today and take up hopefully verse number 31 until 35, which is the expression of Arjuna of the second problem that he feels is existing, why he doesn't want to fight the battle. So let me throw it open to all. And so who are all present there? Mala is there, Smita is there, Lavina is there, Shika is there, Sandhya ji is there, Raj Kumari Bisani is there, Meena and Shiva. So, any questions inspired by today's discussions on the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita? We should be done with the chapter 1 maximum in another couple of classes, hopefully, and then go on to the second chapter. Oh. So, if there are any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask the question, and I will attempt to answer them. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes.
I've muted to say Hare Krishna
Hare
in response to your Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Lavina Mataji, for participating.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the lovely class and your time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so if there are no other questions, I once again thank everyone for participating and hoping that all of you will be present next Saturday to continue our journey of the first chapter. And while we do so, let us look at the positives that the current situation has presented. You can tell anyone across the world to actually participate in our classes. So please tell all your friends, relatives, have not the misplaced compassion which Arjuna had, but the compassion in the right spirit with spiritual vision. So inform everyone, send them the link, and so that they can also participate in these classes. So Hare Krishna to all of you, and we meet again on next Saturday. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna. Yeah.